Bitcoin is above $70,000. In fact, it's above $71,000. It almost hit $72,000 already. So obviously I have to make this video. Ethereum is back above $4,000. It's a Monday, which means that Wall Street is back. The ETFs are open for bids, for inflows. So we can really see now that the price is literally in price discovery. It means it is at all-time highs. We can see this really fly. Hopefully this week we see continued bids and we see this being pushed to $75,000, $80,000, maybe $85,000 within the next couple of weeks, next 1 to 2 weeks, maybe even by the end of this month. So in this video, what I want to do is share with you my thoughts based on what happened in the last cycle and how we could potentially expect this to play out over the next 1 to 2 months. If you're new here and this is your first time watching, welcome. My name is Dirk. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Follow my page on Instagram if you're not yet doing so. And if you want to learn more from me, I have a VIP group. This includes courses, training, daily updates. We have a private Discord group where you have access to me and over 2,600 members. I post daily charts, insights, my own buy and sell movements, trade ideas. If you want to be a part of all of that, the link is in the description down below. I am closing the doors to new members in less than a month on April 8th. Because of this market, it is just pumping. Okay, and the higher it goes, the less chance for upside, the more chance for downside. The longer that you wait, the higher the risk becomes. And if this goes on for another couple more weeks like this, that's where I'm drawing the line in the sand. Because after that point, when everything is up so much already, when someone comes to me, I'm like, yo, Dirk, what do I buy? Everything is already way up. I've been seeing in the bear market, buy. Now, Bitcoin all-time highs. Ethereum is very close to an all-time high. We're at 4,000 now. The all-time high was just shy of 5,000. And altcoins haven't pumped yet, okay? But that window is closing very, very shortly, in my opinion. And once that goes up 5 or 10x, at that point, it's going to be much harder for me to help you. And that is why I'm saying April 8th, line in the sand, no more new members. So if you want to learn, the link is in the description down below. Come and join a VIP 60-day money-back guarantee, no risk. But the sooner you act, the more chance there is for making profits from this bull market. Okay, finally, look at this. This is incredible. $71,559. You can see we are a clean break past the previous all-time high. Now, what's also interesting to notice is that we had this double top last cycle. Now, in technical analysis, yes, there's double tops, and they usually indeed result in a sell-off after a double top. But there is usually no such thing as a triple top. Usually by the third attempt, it completely breaks through and it continues much higher. So the question is going to be, we have this clean break. Bitcoin has literally never traded at these levels before, outside of obviously today. So now we're at this point, as I'm recording this, America has yet to wake up today on Monday. And they're going to see this and they're going to be like, maybe we need to buy, and everyone maybe just FOMOs in. And this could push it a lot higher. What price discovery means is that the price has literally never been there. It's discovering this new territory. There's no previous levels that you can go by in terms of price action that has been support or resistance. Yes, you can use maybe Fibonacci extensions or something like that. But other than that, this is completely uncharted territory. It's never been here before. And that makes it very, very exciting. Literally everyone who's bought Bitcoin ever now is in profit. And that is an interesting place to be in. So one thing I want to do here is take you back to the last cycle. Okay, and when we broke that previous all-time high at around $20,000. Right? And what's important to note is that the dynamics are totally different because you can see the halving was in May of 2020. So we only hit that previous all-time high, when was that? Like several months after that halving. But for us, we have the halving that's literally coming up in about next month. So in about 4 weeks from now, we have the halving. So we've hit the all-time high a lot sooner than we did previous cycle. Now, what happened in the previous cycle? Well, you can see over here, once it got back above the previous cycle high, it went from 20K to 65K. So it did basically a 3.5x at that point. Now, obviously things are different, right? The market cap was a lot smaller at that point in time. So you can say that going from 20K to 65K, we're starting at 69K. So are we going to do a 3.5x? Probably not this time. And I know it's different, yes, because we have the ETFs and there is huge demand coming in from that. That's basically what's been bidding this up so much. And this is obviously not from retail money. This is from institutional money. It's from ETFs that is how this money is just pushing this up in a massive, massive way. So it's going to be interesting to see how far this goes and how high it goes. Maybe it does a 2x. Is that possible, to go from 69 to 140 in another month or two? At this point in time, there is so much momentum behind this. We are in full-blown bull at this point. Okay, we've broken all-time highs. We have ETFs. It's all over the media. Everyone is starting to wake up and pay attention. So at this point, if the inflows continue, how high can this go? And it can go very, very quickly. I mean, we have a month left until the halving, and then potentially another month of kind of bullish momentum. And May, usually we still have possibility for upside. So that's potentially 2 more months of upside. And if you see how quickly that can move, I mean, we could see over $100,000 in the next 2 months, and that would be fantastic to see. So at this point, let's see how it goes. Usually what happens with crypto, with these pumps, is that once we're in this phase, the attention goes back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin pumps, all eyes on Bitcoin, everyone's betting on Bitcoin, leverage trades get open in Bitcoin, and eventually once that pumps enough, wherever that's going to be, whether it's 80 or 100 or 120 or 140, at some point people are going to take profits and they're going to rotate that money, and then we're going to start to see Ethereum and altcoins really, really follow suit. So it is completely possible that Bitcoin steals the show for a week or 2 or 3, and Bitcoin massively pumps, and then once it peaks, it kind of consolidates, maybe pulls back a little bit, and then we see that money flow into altcoins, and we see a massive, massive altcoin season, just like we did in April to May of 2021. So we're still here, early March. We could easily see 2 to 4 weeks of upside in Bitcoin, then a kind of temporary peak wherever that's going to be, a rotation into altcoins that lasts from, say, April to the end of April, or maybe to the first week of May or something like that, and then potentially some sort of top, whether that's a local top that is just a pullback for a few months and then continuation higher, or whether that could potentially be the complete top of the bull market. It's hard to say. So at this point in time, let's just take it a week at a time and see what happens in the next 1 to 2 months. And after that, we can follow the charts, and that's what I try and do as much as possible. Try to follow the charts and try and stay unbiased to what I personally want to happen, and really just see at the technicals if we can see anything on the chart, if we get market structure breaks, if we lose key moving averages, things like that. That will all be warnings to see if there's a potential trend reversal. As long as the trend technically stays bullish, well then I'm going to try and follow that trend as long and as best as possible, and I'm going to keep bringing that here on the channel, and of course in a much more detailed daily basis inside VIP. So if you want that and you're not a VIP member, the link is in the description down below. Come and join us. Every day I will be sharing my thoughts and these charts in Discord. So, okay, we can assume at this point that we are going to see follow through here, and how high, I don't know. Let's just take it a day at a time over there. That's completely fine. Now, what you also want to note is that over here, let me just do it with the cursor. The moment we broke the previous cycle high last time, it was December 14th, and by the time it peaked, it was basically April 14th. So that's January, February, March, April. That's 4 months from the moment that we broke that all-time high. So you can consider, okay, the beginning of March is when we technically broke this all-time high. If we have 4 months of upside, will we have that? That's going to be the hard thing to say. I would say 2 months, okay, I feel comfortable with that, but June and July is usually pullback months in the market. So I don't know if we have 4 months of upside. But basically what I'm saying is, if this last cycle repeats in terms of what it did after it broke that high, it's basically like this, right? And that would take us to about 120 based on this projection, and somewhere by July. Now, maybe it goes a lot faster due to the ETFs and the global FOMO, and maybe this time it does it in 2 months. Maybe it goes to 120 to 140, and maybe that is how we peak. I am not sure, okay? All we can do is follow the trends at this point, but what we can say, maybe it goes to this trend line, who knows? Maybe it goes to here, which is about 100, just over 100. Whatever it's going to end up being, at this point in time, one thing that's sure, we're in price discovery, new all-time highs, there's a lot of FOMO, and I do expect us to see more follow-through at this point. I doubt it peaks here at like 71,000, okay? We are finally past the 70K. Wall Street's about to open, we have the whole week ahead of us. ETF bids, let's see what happens. I think it's going to pump here a bunch. Then switching over to Ethereum, look at this. We're at over $4,000. there hasn't been a lot of time spent trading above these levels. You can see there was basically a wick in May of 2021, and then only maybe about 2 months here from like October to December, not even 2 months ever in the history of Ethereum that price has actually basically spent above this $4,000 level. So you can see we've just rocketed up here from early February, from 2,200, we're now at 4,000. We flipped the golden pocket, we flipped the 0.70% here, and the target is, in my opinion here, just the all-time high. That's the logical next target, and maybe it just continues to push here in one massive, massive push. Now, in a couple days from now, we also have an upgrade to the Ethereum network, the Denken upgrade, I think it's called, which is supposedly going to make the layer 2 transactions super cheap. So the whole issue of Ethereum fees being $100 or more, that is going to change on the layer 2s, and there's going to be hopefully some more bullish momentum into Ethereum. Maybe that's why it's pumping so hard. But overall, everything's pumping, new money's coming in, and maybe we see this go straight to the all-time highs and higher. I have said a few months ago that my guess kind of for Ethereum that I think is maybe reasonable for this cycle, seeing where BTC already is, somewhere between $6,000 and $8,000 maybe the cycle for Ethereum. Might be a bit on the conservative side. Some people are saying 12,000, 15,000, 20,000. I would love to see that. I mean, for me, if it gets to $6,000 or $8,000, it is already phenomenal. You can see that would be about a 50% fib extension level here. Maybe the 1.618. So somewhere in that area, I think is, if it gets there, like that's already super, super nice. Somewhere up here. And then we have to see. At this point in time, it's really like, okay, the trend is bull. We are now in full-blown bull market. The euphoria phase, that greed and thrill and euphoria phase, those tend to move the quickest. So it's very difficult to, and actually like not scientific in any way, really, to try and give top estimates of when this will peak. You just got to realize, okay, we are in this bullish trend. We're in the final phase or the final acceleration phase, greed, euphoria of this market, and things can go parabolic and vertical much higher than you expect and much quicker than you expect. So there's no real point in trying to say, oh, it's going to top at 5 or 6 or 7 or 8. I mean, it's a guess, sure. But the best thing you can do at this point is try and follow the charts, and as long as the trend is bull, try and ride that trend as much as possible. Remove initial on the way up, take some profits on the way up, and then try and watch and try and catch that exhaustion and that reversal on the daily or the 4-hourly, ideally the 4-hourly if possible. If we start to see signs of trend reversal, market structure break, that kind of stuff, technical stuff, which I'll be sharing obviously in a VIP, so make sure you join if you want that insight. And at that point, once we start seeing that exhaustion or market structure break, to basically just get out or hedge with a short or something like that. Basically, in terms of time, my expectation is somewhere towards the end of April, maybe towards the end of May. So that gives us potentially here 2 to 3 months still of massive, massive upside. And if we see this continued pump without a correction at that point and things go absolutely nuts, well, for me, I think that's probably going to be some sort of local top followed by a pretty sharp correction. Keep in mind here where this arrow is also, we saw Ethereum here basically run up from $300 to $4,300 and then pull back to $1,400 before continuing higher. So at some point we are going to get a major pullback. The higher it goes in one go without a pullback, the quicker and sharper the correction will be. So just warning you for all of this stuff. So at this point, Bitcoin almost 72,000, Ethereum almost 4,000. Again, keep in mind, what is the upside left on Bitcoin? If it does a 2x at this point, it'll be $140,000, which would already be phenomenal. Are we going to get a 2x? I don't know. If Bitcoin does 140K, altcoins are going to do way, way more. The same with Ethereum. If it does a 2x, it's 8,000. If it goes to 12,000, it's a 3x. If Ethereum goes to 12,000, altcoins are going to do way more than that. So for me at this point, there is absolutely no point in buying Bitcoin or Ethereum at these levels in terms of an ROI perspective. Sure, you can do some trades or whatever the case is if that's what you want to do. But basically, in terms of if I was looking at this market now and I want to put money into it, I'm putting it all into altcoins because obviously risk capital and obviously not financial advice, guys. I'm saying what I would do new here in this market. These altcoins haven't pumped yet. I made a video about that the last 2 or 3 uploads on this channel already. and it's still the same case. But that can change very, very quickly. In a matter of 1 to 2 weeks, we can see alts really pump. You can see, look how quickly this went. At the beginning of Feb, Ethereum basically doubled in like 5 weeks. Okay, so that's Ethereum. That's the second biggest coin by market cap. If we start seeing that with altcoins with much smaller market caps, altcoins can move 3, 4, 5x in a matter of like 2 or 3 weeks. And at that point, if you haven't acted, if you haven't gotten involved, it's going to be too late. And at that point, I can guarantee you, based on what I've seen over the last 2 cycles, the last like 8 years in these markets, is that everyone, well, not everyone, but the majority of retail investors who have been sitting on the sidelines, even who have been watching these videos for months of me saying it's going up and up and up, once it's up like 10x, they can be like, oh, how do I buy crypto? Which coin should I buy? And you know, at that point, like you shouldn't buy. And I know that that's how it works. That's the dumb money coming in, and then the smart money who bought in the bear market lows, who's up 10, 15, 20, 30x, they're going to be selling to that dumb money that wants to buy the top, and it's the exchange of wealth from the impatient to the patient. That is how these market cycles work over and over and over again. So, basically, in a nutshell, things are going great. The cycle is progressing. The bull market is here in full force. We're in the greed euphoria phase, in my opinion, and that could last probably 1 or 2 or 3 months now. We have the halving, which is a big hyped event coming up. It is a literal change in the amount of daily produced Bitcoin. So we'll have to see how that's going to go after this halving, because it's literally going to cut the amount of produced Bitcoin after that point forward in half if the ETF demand continues. That might continue to push it more, but I don't want to rely on that just yet. I just want to have that halving as, okay, in 4 or 5 weeks from now, we're going to get that halving. So the hype for the next few weeks is going to be all around that. So that's going to drive more and more people to be like, oh, I need to buy before the halving. I need to buy. People start to wake up. People start to FOMO. All this money flows in, pushes it higher and higher and higher and higher, which might actually completely create this front run theory that I've been talking about for the past year, where instead of the halving only being an event that kickstarts the whole bull market, it might be actually much closer to the top and the end of the cycle than people expect. And it's the perfect psychology, because everyone is FOMOing into the halving, thinking that's when it's going to start and go way higher. What if that is the top? We're close to the top, and after that it drops 50% or more. Okay, so let's see how things unfold. I've just been warning here over and over again in these videos. I think altcoins still have big upside ahead, but that can go very, very quickly. And the perfect example, I've shown you this chart before, Doge. Look at this, Dogecoin, 22nd of March, 2021. Dogecoin was still trading at 6 cents. Then we look here at the 3rd of May, 2021, right? So literally like 6 weeks later, it's done more than a 10x, it's like a 12x. And this is basically what a lot of altcoins do. Doge is a very nice like barometer for the whole crypto markets for all the altcoins. When Doge pumps like this, most of the altcoins are going to pump in a big way. And at this point, you know, where do you get in? Most people still haven't set up their exchanges. They're trying to transfer money into Coinbase, etc., etc., etc. And by the time they get involved, everything is way up, and you're basically buying the top. So you can see Doge has started to move here. We basically went from 8 cents already to now like 18 cents. It was almost 20 cents already. It was actually last week. And this can go very quickly. So we're at the beginning of March. Let's see what happens in the next like 2 to 3 months. If this goes absolutely nuts, if Doge goes back to all-time highs, I'd expect many altcoins to do a 5 or a 10x or a 15x. This is when you can make the most amount of money in the shortest period of time. So actually, you know, just before it takes off, getting in, you skip that whole accumulation phase. You get in and you can get a 5x or a 10x in a matter of like 2 months, and you can get out. You have done absolutely phenomenal. Just don't mistake these prices going up at this pace for the possibility that it's going to continue forever, or that it's even going to continue into next year or anything like that. Don't make any of these forward assumptions or projections. In my opinion, if you can get a 5 or a 10x on a decent amount of risk capital already, that's already phenomenal. And then obviously you want to protect your profits, because the only way that you win at this game is by realizing your profits and cashing out. If you round trip this, if you buy and you hold and you're up massively on paper, but you never cash out and you ride it all the way back down, you have nothing to show for it except stories of how you wrote it up and wrote it all the way back down, and how you could have maybe bought a Lambo or a house or 2 houses, but you didn't cash out, and now you are at less than your initial investment. Those stories are very, very common. Don't let it happen to you, okay? Ride the bull up. I think we have a bunch of upside in the next 2 to 3 months, and then be smart. You know, you want to keep your money after you make it, and the way to do that is to take profits. So make sure you smash this like button, make sure you follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my channel on YouTube, and if you are not yet part of my VIP, if you like what I'm making here, the content, the videos, the updates, I do this literally on a daily basis inside VIP. I share charts, my ideas, what I'm looking to buy, trade ideas, setups, longs, shorts, everything is shared there. Plus you get access to all the courses that I've ever made. I've got a complete beginner's course on crypto, like 20 lessons, a complete course about trading, reading charts, everything I do here, 60 lessons in that trading course. Then every month I write a newsletter, like a 50, 60 page newsletter with technical analysis, my insights into the market. It's all part of one package that I call VIP. It is available, the link is in the description down below, but I'm closing the doors April 8th. You won't be able to join after that, because at that point, I think it's getting too risky to buy, and I'm just not going to take on new members. So if you want to join us, last chance, link is in the description down below. See you on the inside, and I will see you in the next video.